by the large speculators, bearishness by the commercials. Ladies and gentlemen, this market is going down. Look for and take sell signals. We see a very similar situation in the Australian dollar. The downtrend has been even steeper and the rally not quite as strong. Same scenario, red line way down. Commercials have been selling this thing like crazy. The small speculators, oh my gosh, are they ever bullish on the Australian dollar? As they were here, dead wrong, here, dead wrong, back here, dead wrong. Over here, dead wrong, back here, dead wrong. It's time to take sell signals in the Australian dollar. The other side of this coin of the currencies would be the US dollar, and here we see almost the exact opposite. Red line commercials have been buying, that's very bullish, and the small speculators have been selling the market, that's also very bullish. Usually when they're at a low position, we see the dollar index rally. We talked about the dollar index being a buy signal this last week. It has started to rally, so now let's focus in our attention on the daily charts. Here is our close-up and personal view of the Australian dollar, very close to the seasonal high in this market. We did have a pullback the last 3 trading days. What I'd like to see is this market bounce back up and make a lower short-term high, in other words, rally and then take out a prior day's low for our entry. Our surrogate index shows that the commercials have been selling. Percent R is in the overbought zone, oversold zone, so we can expect a rally. So I do expect a rally. Then on that rally, look for and take that sell signal. Boy, we got lucky with that dollar index buy signal we talked about last week, getting above a prior day's high. We did that a couple of times. Outside day up close on Thursday. At a seasonal low, the trend line is my will trend indicator. We're about to change trend in this marketplace. So I think it's just a question of having our stops now down here below Thursday's low. It should be just a case of letting this market move. How far and how long? Probably until the middle of June. That's the seasonal peak of the market. So we should have a good fish on the line here, a big one. Let's just let it run. The decline has begun in the Japanese yen. It has changed trend. It's fallen below our will trend indicator. So what we're looking for in this market is a rally back, getting percent R into the overbought zone, and then look for a sell signal. So decline on Friday. Naturally, this market is going to bounce in here. Let the bounce run its course, form a lower short-term high, whatever sell signals you have. So if sell is not immediate, we want a short-term rally, then look for and take the sell. Speaking of Japan, this is a Japanese stock market. It has not been as strong as the U.S. market. Will it continue? Well, the seasonal high is not too far away, but I think all of these markets are being pulled up by the strength of the United States market. So I think we'll probably see this market and Japan rally into the end of May. Looking now at crude oil in the top chart, heating oil in the lower chart, and look at this. Heating oil has been stronger comparatively than crude oil. That suggests to us that this will continue, heating oil, to be the stronger market. How far will this rally go? I still think we're going to rally into somewhere into late May. So you could have stops underneath Friday's low. Other than that, this market should continue moving higher, probably getting back into the 55 area in crude oil. And in heating oil, we can go probably to 160, almost to the 170 area. So I continue to think we're in a long-term uptrend here. It has legs to it at least into the end of May. Time for a trading lesson. We're looking at gold in the top chart here. Gold continues to be in a sell mode for us. Nice sell signals during the week. Still bearish here. Here's the really good reason why I expect gold to go down. Look how much stronger silver, we're looking at silver down here, has been than gold. As I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, typically when there's excessive bullishness in silver, that's the public. And they all just rush into this, and that marks a high in the gold market. So way too much public optimism in this market suggests that, in fact, we've hit a significant top and look for lower prices in gold and silver. In terms of how far down can we go, I think we could pull back into these old highs we saw in the first of the year. So maybe 1,120, something like that in gold. There's a good distance to go in this market, at least the 1,160 area. Well, didn't we have an exciting time in copper this week? We talked about breaking out of this congestion zone. We broke out to the upside, and away went the market. It went back to the old highs in here. I'm a little concerned that it ran into these closing highs and started to pull back. So strategy would want a trailing stop below Thursday's low and continue at the lowest low of the last 2 days, hoping we can rally into the seasonal peak about the first weekend of May. You can see our theoretical COTSI index, our proxy for commercials, has entered the sell zone, so their selling has come into this market, but the trend is up, seasonal is up, so trailing stops, and you could take a profit about 2.35 if we got up there. I would sell into that strength, otherwise use a trailing stop. Now looking at coffee, this is what I would call an if trade. If and only if we can get above Friday's high on Thursday or come down without closing below this low and get above a prior day's high, I think we're going to rally again in this market. It rallies and collapses, rallies and collapses. Well, it has collapsed. Percent R's in the buy area. Commercial began buying on Thursday and Friday. Seasonal pattern is up, so if we can get above a prior day's high, especially if we've had a down day close, take that buy signal. Here is another if and only if trade for you. If we can get above Thursday's high on Monday, that's a buy signal. We had an outside day down close Friday. You would think would continue coming down into the area of the trend change line here at about 1480. But if we can get above Thursday's high Monday, then that is a buy signal in this market. If we can actually make a higher short-term low during the week, that would probably represent a buy signal as well. Not ideal though. There's been a lot of commercial selling. Public's pretty bullish. What I'm impressed about is this trend change in here. Pull back, then we're going to have at least a shot at a rally. So there's a trade for you to be watching this week. Let's talk soybeans for a moment here. Soybean meal has been stronger than soybeans. They've both been exceptionally strong. Fortunately, we were able to get you guys and gals into this trade. Protective stop, lowest low of the last 3 days, way back here. We're going to bounce this coming week. I don't think this move is over. Percent R should enter the buy zone, and at that point, I would look for and take another buy signal. And focus my attention on soybean meal. Notice that meal did not come back to the high 4 days ago, while soybean did come back to that same high. So meal has been a little stronger in here than beans. So short-term traders, focus your attention there. Also, if you look at the spread relationship, we're not in a premium, but it's a narrowing spread that we've seen in soybean meal as the months go out in time, also suggestive that when we get back into the buy zone in percent R in both beans and meal, but of course we would look for more strength in soybean meal. Bonds, finally, clear cut. We are in a downtrend. We've been bearish on this market for some time. I expect it's going to go lower. However, percent R is in the oversold zone, so it's natural to have a rally here. That rally should not take out Wednesday's high. That would be my stop point. I think we will continue moving lower in this market, so when percent R gets into the bought zone, too many buyers on a 4-day percent R, look for and take sell signals. Target, well, I think we're going to take out the lows down here. Seasonal patterns certainly suggest that. That means we have a target at about the 156 area, a long ways away. That's a lot of money, isn't it? So that's our target. Use trailing stops, and hopefully this market is going to continue moving to the downside. Speaking of the stock market, let's look at a stock. Here's an interesting stock, one of my favorite long-term growth stocks, Fastenal, symbol FAST. Notice that prices come down below this closing prices we saw in March, but our major accumulation on balance volume has held up above this same point. That's bullish. This stock also has exhibited about a 110 to 120 day cycle. You can see the cyclical peaks and suggested troughs in this market, and this is where we are now. It looks like we should have this pullback we're seeing right now, but in May or the end of this month, I'd look for a rally to start in Fastenal that lasts until the middle of July. So I think there's a trading opportunity in this stock. It's been under accumulation. If you get trend change signals in Fastenal, take them on the long side. Last but certainly not least, this weekend we're going to look at the stock market, the S&P E-minis. What a great tax time trade we had, huh? Whenever you pay your taxes, think of Larry Williams. We had that buy signal on the close Friday or on the opening Monday. Profitable opening a couple of days later, big trade for us in this market. So that's done. What's next? Well, I think we're going to actually pull back a little bit lower. Why? Well, we had that key reversal bar on Friday. I don't think that's a key reversal at all. Usually we'll come back down and you're a little bit lower, which would make sense. Get percent R in the oversold zone, then look for a rally. Seasonal pattern still up, cycle still up. I'm not bearish. We're getting close to a point to take another buy signal in this market. So those have been taking your profit from the tax trade. We have a buy signal coming up. Just look for a short-term reversal in the market and look to get long the S&Ps again. Very strong advanced decline line activity on Friday, even during the day. So bull market still intact. Look for and take buy signals this coming week in the E-minis. Until next weekend, this is Larry Williams wishing you good luck and good trading.
Thank you, Larry.
Welcome back to Larry.